This is the Energy Makers Show, featuring the innovators, financiers, and policymakers focused on the global energy demand. Brought to you by NRG, moving clean energy forward. And here's your host, Paul Dickerson.
Hi, I'm Paul Dickerson, and welcome to another episode of the Energy Makers Show. First up today, Joe Meppelink, Director of Applied Research at the University of Houston's Green Building Components Program. Next up, we hear from Brandy Obvintsev, founder of Energy People Connect. All that right after this.
Where will the energy come from to move us forward? From natural sources in abundant supply, or perhaps a man-made source? At NRG, we believe innovation will solve our energy needs. That's why NRG is moving away from fossil fuels towards wind, solar, and other sustainable technologies to power the smart grid, the electric car, and our clean energy future. We're using all of our energy to develop more of it.
This is the Energy Makers Show, brought to you by NRG, moving clean energy forward. And now, back to the Energy Makers Show with your host, Paul Dickerson.
Welcome to another episode of the Energy Makers Show. We have with us today Joe Meppelink, Director of Applied Research for the University of Houston's Green Building Components Program. Joe, welcome to the program.
Paul, great to be here.
So tell us about the program.
Well, the University of Houston Green Building Components Program has a mission to design, develop, and commercialize green building technology for the built environment.
Well, and to me, and we'll get to it more in a moment, it's the commercialize, which I found very unique. But yesterday was a special day. You kicked off the expo?
It was, yes. We had our third annual UHGBC Expo at the College of Architecture. Had great turnout, great attendance, where we showcased 5 new projects this year and also showcased 5 past projects that have been funded by our program in the past that are now enjoying commercial success.
But it's not just a one-day event.
It is not a one-day event. We're going to be on view through mid-February. We hope to have visitors. Our building is open during business hours, and we'd love to have people out there to see what we've done.
All right, and what will they see?
Well, our 5 new projects range from precast sound abatement units for freeway dividers called parametric precast. We have a botanical indoor air filtration system called Botanica. We have a modular classroom building that will help improve the conditions in modular classrooms across our school districts here in Houston and beyond. We have a accessory dwelling unit that is a zero net energy or a net energy producer, a very small prefabricated dwelling unit. And then we have a solar-powered parking lot and service station, which is a real interesting thing to think about with the advent of electric vehicles.
Absolutely. So tell us, all right, this is the big show. What brought these companies to this point?
Well, we have an interesting program in that each of the applied research teams are led by a design professional. Of course, we open that call first to our own faculty members, and then we go out regionally and locally, and we ask other design professionals who we know are thinking and working in this field,
right,
to come to submit a proposal to us for one of our UHGBC grants. We mandate with each of these teams that they have an industry professional, an industry partner rather, for that critical access to market and technical support as they develop their concepts, and of course we mandate the involvement of student research assistants. So we have a great team in place with these research teams.
Well, and it's very forward thinking. Oftentimes, academia gets a bad rap because they're so caught up in the theory and not actually in the application.
Exactly, and that's part of what this public-private partnership is about. We know that we need to work beyond the hedges, so to speak, and get out there, and the rubber has to meet the road, but that doesn't mean that we have to sacrifice design. It doesn't mean we have to sacrifice quality or technology. We can and we do. That's what we do at the University of Houston, and I would say that that's what we do in Houston. This city has a can-do attitude and a remarkable industrial workforce and capability that we find we can get anything done here.
And you offer the resources, but you also offer some money.
We do. Each of these applied research teams is competing for a grant. We do 4 to 6 a year. We give between $20,000 and $35,000 to each team as seed funding, and with that seed funding, that's the first step to getting these ideas off the ground. Of course, we don't want to just give them money and walk away. We try to give them the access to the expertise, both in the city of Houston, so that they can figure out where and how to get these things made. We can connect them with industry partners that they may not have on their team yet, people who make things, people who can get these things done, and then of course the people in our university, College of Technology, College of Engineering, Bauer College of Business. You know, these are critical team members a lot of times for again, for a design-led team, a design professional-led team that doesn't necessarily have technical and business acumen. So we want to help them put together a winning team.
Wow, it's a great story. Tell us about one of the successes.
Well, one of our first funded projects was called SPACE, Solar-Powered Adaptive Container for Everyone. That's Space City. It's perfect for us. The story with SPACE is that it developed as a one-off design project, but all the team members, industry partners, and the design team as well, quickly recognized that this had potential as a product and could solve some real problems. About a year and a half ago, we responded to and won an RFQ from the City of Houston for mobile solar generators for hurricane response. Next time we have a big power outage like Hurricane Ike, these solar-powered containers will be deployed around the city to provide off-grid stable power for emergency medical supplies, medical equipment, communications, and so on.
Well, so how long do you stay engaged?
It's an interesting question, Paul, because it's in our best interest to stay engaged with these projects. We, of course, we start them out with seed funding, and part of the term of that seed funding at the beginning is royalty revenue back to our program should a project succeed. Success is, of course, measured very different ways with all these different projects. We've got, we've got a consumer product, a couple of consumer products. We've got business-to-business products. We've got government agency type of products. So they all follow a very different path, but it's very much in our interest. And in fact, it's my job to help these companies and try to connect them and give them the tools to succeed, so that when they succeed, they'll return royalties to us and help us to keep doing what we're doing.
Now, Joe, when you say it's building components program, clearly it's beyond just the buildings themselves. Tell us about some of those companies.
Absolutely, we intentionally take that term very broadly, building components, and what we mean by that is that we're designing for the built environment. And really, it could be said that our work falls somewhere in the very broad range between industrial design and architecture. And we have in our program both an industrial design and architecture and an interior architecture department. So we're working across that range of scales. We have consumer products, we have business-to-business products. We have products that might be well suited for government agencies, such as the solar-powered container that I've mentioned.
All right, so some examples of that. I hear there's a computer. What else?
Some of our consumer products. The computer is a great one called Recompute. One of our former industrial design students, Brendan Macaluso, has developed a cardboard desktop computer with swappable components and a recyclable frame, essentially. And he's looking at the very real problem of e-waste. What happens to the electronic cases and boards and all of that stuff when it becomes obsolete? As we know, they go obsolete very quickly. Sure. So he's developed a platform that is non-toxic, non-harmful to the environment. It's not going to end up in a third world country with poor folks picking the parts apart. So this is something that can grow with a consumer's need. We also have the GrowPod, which is a modular raised bed garden system. Very simple, very inexpensive consumer product. It's simply a big growing tray, a modular growing tray that allows for people to do a garden. It has integral watering, nice hardwood edges, so it looks nice, and you can sit on the edge. And that's replacing some of the alternatives like railroad ties and heavy concrete blocks and all that kind of stuff. So it's a great product, and we want to aim that at the big box retailers. So we've got a real broad range of things we've worked on.
All right, and I hear there's a company more on the business-to-business side.
We have several of those, actually. One of the great products we showed last night was called Botanica. It's an indoor air purification system. that uses a botanical plant growing medium and a hydroponic soil medium to pull the air inside a building through that root structure where the plants can do their job and literally clean the air that we breathe. And the results are remarkable. We have a great industry partner in Living Systems who have developed this growing medium, and we have our design team that's putting it in a beautiful context that's going to be very attractive to commercial building owners, architects, and those type of specifiers who want to do good things for their employees.
All right, and is that your only solar project?
No, we actually have several projects that deal with solar and photovoltaics. As architects, that's a wide open field for us. When you think about solar power generation and what that can add to a smart grid scenario in a dense urban setting, you've got a power generation device that with no moving parts that lasts 30 to 50 years. We've actually done quite a few projects in solar. We have the PV pod, which is a patented rotationally molded water-filled plastic tank that's used to mount solar panels to rooftops. Great product. We just did our first installation of PV pod on the roof of the new central permitting building just north of downtown. We have Power Lots, which is a larger scale solar covered parking design, and we visited with NRG and EVgo about that product. It's very large-scale solar surfaces that provide shade, also rainwater catchment, which is a big issue for stormwater runoff and pollution prevention on big parking lots. And we also have options for integrated LED lighting and small wind. And then our last solar project that I can at least remember at this point is the Sunstop Solar Service Station. Sunstop Solar is an energy ESCO structure, and that's we've of course partnered with Sunstop. CEO Kevin Conlon and our design team have now developed a product line of 3 different scales of these solar service stations, they're called. So that's a smaller scale product that will serve electric vehicles and also dispense other conveniences such as those you'd find at a gas station.
Well, Joe, thank you so much for coming by. Congratulations on all the success.
Paul, thanks again for having me. I enjoyed being here.
Now, before we wrap, for our viewers, what website should they go to?
You can find our work at uhgbc.org.
Well, and that concludes our discussion with Joe Meppelink. We'll be right back with more right after this.
The future is here.
You can't see it. It's electric.
At NRG, we're providing clean energy and now charging stations to make the electric car a reality. Kinda makes you want a boogie woogie, doesn't it? NRG, moving clean energy forward.
It's electric.
This is the Energy Makers Show, brought to you by NRG, moving clean energy forward. And now back to the Energy Makers Show with your host, Paul Dickerson.
Welcome back to the Energy Makers Show. My guest now is Brandy Obvintsev, founder of Energy People Connect. Brandy, great to have you on the program.
Thank you so much, Paul. I appreciate being here.
Well, tell us about Energy People Connect.
Well, Energy People Connect focuses on creating the conversations across the global energy industry. We believe that the people in our business have a lot of exciting things to say, so we provide the platforms and resources to help them do that. We have an online social network, and then we recently launched an ad network as well. And then in addition to that, we provide consulting in soft subject issues in the industry.
Well, let's talk about that social community. You know, we live in a day and age where you hear Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn. Tell us how you differentiate or partner with those type of sites.
Well, first of all, we really feel like the more connections, the better. So if you have a great message, and you can leverage a myriad of channels, that's wonderful. And we help our clients understand how to do that. Our side is a little bit different because we focus on soft subject issues in the energy industry, things like change management, work-life balance, managing resources in a cyclical industry, things of that nature. So that's what kind of makes us different. We're also focused across the entire industry. So we have members that are in traditional energy resource plays and also alternative energy members.
Well, and I would think sites like this are productive as we go through the up and down swings of the energy market. How do you work with talent and helping people find jobs?
Well, we're very fortunate because we have a lot of members that are specifically focused on the industry. We have financial advisors that are members that work with our clients. We have a lot of recruiters. We have a lot of people that reach out and make connections across the business as well.
Well, and you had something new start today, right? This
Yes.
Energy Pledge?
Yes, we're very excited about Energy Pledge. One thing that surprised me when I joined the industry about 15 years ago was just absolutely how amazing it was, how global it was. In one day, I could literally speak to somebody from Singapore, someone from Aberdeen. I could be on a phone call to somebody in Moscow and then talk to another client in Abu Dhabi. And that was so incredible to me. And then I started learning about the impact that the energy industry had on people's daily lives. And there's absolutely no industry that touches lives more prolifically. But I didn't understand why people weren't excited about it. And as we continue understanding the landscape of energy demand, I thought it would make some sense to invite people in the energy industry to take a pledge and really formalize their commitment to what they do on a daily basis and formalize their commitment to helping solve the world's energy problems. And they do that in three ways. First of all, we ask them to really think about what they're doing when they get up and go to work every morning. People should be very excited about this. It's a very big deal. The technological innovations that they are involved in are absolutely amazing, but they also are contributing to quality of life across the board for people everywhere, and that is so exciting and so important.
Well, and certainly something people forget, day-to-day grinding
I know.
it out.
Yes, and absolutely. I mean, I really think that people should be so proud of their work in the energy industry, no matter what subsector they happen to be in. So we ask them to really, really innovate with gravitas. The other thing that we ask them to do is really focus on stewardship of resources. Energy resources are not easy. They're simply not. No matter whether it be traditional energy, hydrocarbon-based energy, or alternative resources, they're just not easy. So we really want people to steward them appropriately in their daily lives. And there's a lot of that. A lot of people in the energy industry, whether they be in traditional hydrocarbon realms or alternative realms, are environmentalists, believe it or not. And we want them to really embrace that stewardship and that role of stewardship. And then the third piece that we really ask is really very in line with our mission of creating conversations across the global industry. And that is we want people to reach out. The industry has a tendency to be very, very siloed. And so people may understand their segment of the business, but we really ask that they reach out and get to know the other segments of the business and how it all fits in. One thing we all know is that we need all of the good, clean energy that we can get. And so we hope that by asking people to formalize their commitment to these three things, we can help things move forward in our own little way. All
right, so for our audience members who are ready to do that today, walk us through the process. You go to the website.
Go to www.energypledge.org. And you can click on the button on the right-hand side. It says Take the Pledge. You can take the pledge, and we would love to see you.
Brandy, thank you so much for coming by.
Thanks so much. It was my pleasure.
Well, and that wraps this episode of the Energy Makers Show, heard on the radio nationwide, seen right here at TheEnergyMakers.com. I'm Paul Dickerson, and we'll see you next week.